The second question that you can ask yourself as God begins to reveal your sins is this: what are you rationalizing? Can I be honest? My ability to rationalize my own personal sin is a terrifying thing. When I snap at my kids in anger, I tell myself, I just had a rough day. They shouldn't have acted that way. They should have listened to me the first time. And I back up and realize, well, no, snapping at them in anger is not really the right way to parent. So where are you rationalizing? Because if we rationalize our sin, then we end up like the man in Psalm 36 that David says this about. It's up here. He says, for he flatters himself in his own eyes that his inquiry cannot be found out and hated. The words of his mouth are trouble and deceit. He has ceased to act wisely and do good. Without even recognizing it, our deceptive hearts lie to us. So here may be a couple things that you're doing. There's nothing wrong with looking at it. It's not like it's cheating. Everyone looks at it. I don't have a temper problem. I wouldn't yell at you if you didn't do what you were consistently doing. Or, hey, my drinking isn't a problem. It's just a handful of beers after work to wind down. It's not like I'm chugging whiskey. Or I'm not gossiping. I can't help what people tell me. And it's probably true anyway, and I'm just spreading it so people know how to pray. Or gambling isn't a problem. For me, it's just entertainment. I can stop whenever I want. You see, it's things like this that we begin to rationalize, lie to ourselves, make excuses for ourselves, and then we realize we're in the middle of this pit, and we're just happy playing in the mud. I think David knew a lot about rationalizing. We don't know the lies he was telling himself in the story, but I think because we know how our minds work, I think he might have been saying things like, I deserve some downtime. I don't need to go to war. I fought and won almost all of these battles. Or, hey, I'm pretty lonely, and maybe she's lonely, and we're just going to have a conversation. I'll just look her up and chat with her, but it won't go too far. Imagine the rationalizing that was happening in his head. Step by step by step, he made excuse after excuse for his sins. See, we have to recognize the places in our life that we rationalize. And I think that's where God's going to reveal our sin. And the third thing is this: what are you defensive of? In my life, I've learned if I get defensive or angry, I'm 100% in the wrong. That's where I'm at. If someone suggests a change in your life and you're quick to bark back, I would suggest that's a red flag that you need to take a look at. For me, this happened when someone close to me suggested, Jake, I think you're too sarcastic. And we even went as far to say, hey, sarcasm's a sin, And I got immediately defensive. I'm just joking around. It's how I build relationships. I joke with people. Or, hey, they just need to chill out. Or it's how I really connect with people. Or where does the Bible say that it's a sin anyway? And I began to rationalize and get really, really defensive and angry. And then I realized I was for a rude awakening. Because not a week later, 2 separate incidents where some kind of broken down relationship because I was rude and sarcastic with somebody. And when you look at the life and words of Jesus, that's not where you want to be. So what are others saying? What are you rationalizing? And what are you defensive of? This is where God is going to reveal your sins to you.